Julie Bogart from Brave Writer, and I'm here today to announce the 2017-2018 book titles that go with our Arrow and Boomerang language arts programs. The Arrow and the Boomerang are the tools we use to teach literary craft and writing mechanics using what we call living literature, a good Charlotte Mason term. And every year we announce 10 titles at the level of 3rd to 6th grade called the Arrow, and then 10 other titles that are for late junior high, early high school, 8th to 10th. We have products for all the levels, starting pre-K all the way through high school, but these two particular products, the Arrow and the Boomerang, get brand new titles every year. The others are static. So what's exciting and what everybody looks forward to is hearing us announce them. And we thought it would be so much fun to do that on Facebook Live this year. Thank you for joining me. Wow, there's a huge crowd this time. So excited. Somebody said over on Instagram that they actually dreamt about this. Let's just hope it lives up to the hype. Not only do we have an amazing set of titles to share with you, but I am announcing a huge contest that will blow your mind. And here's the name here's what the contest is. And I want to tell you that before I start so that you'll be even more interested in staying to the end. We are going to start with the Boomerang titles and save the Arrow titles for second. The contest is you will be able to enter a drawing to win all 10 books. And we're giving away 5 of them. So you can pick all 10 arrows or all 10 boomerangs, and those will be mailed to you from us, free of charge, obviously, as a gift for participating in our big contest. If you share the contest, you'll get even more entries. That contest is going to start on June 1st, and we will give you all the details then. So don't worry. The other awesome thing is the Arrow and the Boomerang are on sale in June at their lowest price of the year for the whole month. So if you decide to buy in June, you can enter the contest and you can get the lowest price. The contest doesn't require purchase. So if you decide to enter the contest, you don't have to buy the Arrow or Boomerang to do it. But if you decide you want the Arrow or Boomerang, you can buy them at their lowest price. Canadians too. The international community can participate because if you win in the lottery, we will send you an Amazon gift card so you can buy it in your own currency and have the books for yourself. So that will be valued at $100 for international players. We will give you all the details in time for June 1st. Today is all about the big reveal. We are just going to reveal the book titles. Then we will update our Shopify page where our store is in time for June 1st. So for now, you can get all the details on our blog and on Instagram and here on Facebook. So just to show you again, the Boomerang, oops, I can't seem to do this because I'm dyslexic with this backward side. The Boomerang looks like this, and the Arrow, oops, let's see if we can get the lighting right, looks like this. Okay, they are digital downloads. They are literature guides that teach copywork and dictation to your kids using literature. So without further ado, is everybody here? I think I've vamped long enough. I think you're ready to start. We are going to begin with the Boomerang. All right, we're going to start with the Boomerang. And the Boomerang is designed for early high school, late junior high. And we are so excited about these titles. I have notes, so I can read you a little bit about each book so that you will have a good, strong sense of what the storyline is, okay? We recommend the Boomerang for kids who are mature enough to handle some adult themes. We try to stay away from really graphic things, but occasionally there might be references that would be things you'd want to know about. So we recommend all parents do research on the books their children read. Don't only trust our judgment. We pick books that we feel good about, but your family's value system may vary, so you get to decide. That said, the Boomerang August book is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. The most amazing thing about her, I heard her speak, she was homeschooled. Wrote this book, was a homeschooler, Canadian. Fabulous dystopian novel, so entertaining. What would happen if a deadly flu wiped out life as you know it. Emily St. John Mandel, a Canadian writer who was homeschooled until she was 15, imagines the world just before and sometime beyond this cataclysmic event. The Traveling Symphony, a roving troupe of actors and musicians, performs Shakespeare, much as their ancestors did, in a caravan, emblazoned with the phrase, "Because survival is insufficient." A page-turner that insists we appreciate each moment. It is fabulous. Truly a page-turner. Great way to kick off. All right, so that's August, Station 11. For September, a very slim volume. This is called Walking by Henry David Thoreau. These are essays. The Boomerang celebrates the 2017 bicentennial of Henry David Thoreau with his final book, published posthumously by the Atlantic Monthly, a 28-page essay about one of his favorite pursuits, quite possibly one shared by brave writer families, walking. It is also a call to pay attention. When we walk, we naturally go to the fields and woods. What would become of us if we walked only in a garden or a mall? Any edition is fine. This one's often anthologized. It's going to be wonderful. And a nice, easy one for September, so you can really get into your other subjects and still participate in reading high quality. All right, October for the Boomerang. We are announcing the 2017-2018 Boomerangs right now, and we will do the arrows after. You have not missed anything. This is called The Thing About Jellyfish by Allie Benjamin. The Thing About Jellyfish. A jellyfish, if you watch it long enough, begins to look like a heart beating. So begins Allie Benjamin's story of the science-loving Susie Swanson, whose first-person narrative alternates with chapters addressed to her friend Franny, who drowned. A beautiful book about grief, things that just happen, healing, and sea jellies. We're super excited about this contemporary novel. It is also a National Book Award finalist. So was Station 11. All right, are you ready for November for the Boomerang 2017-2018? Oh my gosh, there are so many of you here. It's so exciting. I'm having fun. I was so nervous. Okay. Georges by Alexander Dumas. We thought it was important to include another classic work. This is the shortest, least known, and perhaps most important adventure by Alexander Dumas, author of The Count of Monte Cristo, The Three Musketeers, and The Man in the Iron Mask. Before these classics made him a celebrated author, he wrote Georges, the only novel in which he explores the subject of race. Driven from his home on the island of Mauritius by racist landowners, Georges returns, falls in love, and leads an uprising of slaves. A swashbuckler that acknowledges the brutality of colonialism with a hero of African descent. This is a little-known gem. Georges. Woot, woot, woot. So excited. All right, you ready for December? I'm so excited. This is a Boomerang reboot. We have done it before, but we are going to enhance it, and I'm going to share in between the Boomerang and the Arrow a major enhancement that we're adding to these years. You're just not even going to believe it. So this one for December is one of my favorite children's books, The Westing Game. Let me get a cup of tea. My voice is shot from speaking at that conference. I nonstop talked for 5 days. Thank you for bearing with me. The Westing Game. And this is by Ellen Raskin. And if you've had kids read it, you know it's amazing. The Westing Game is 192 pages. The game's afoot at Sunset Towers, where most of the tenants have been named as heirs in Samuel W. Westing's will. In order to claim the proceeds, the 16 heirs, paired randomly, must solve a mystery. Deftly plotted and filled with colorful characters, this is one to visit and revisit, which is what we're doing in the Boomerang. January, paired for the Northern Hemisphere winters, we are teaching Jack London, The Call of the Wild, and White Fang. Two classic adventures for the price of one. In The Call of the Wild, a dog named Buck is stolen from his home and forced to survive in the Arctic North, where he confronts threats both human and animal. This one flips the first tale to tell the story of how White Fang, a feral wolf dog, is transformed by the love of a human. Literally, this sat next to Liam in his room for years. He read it so many times, and we love this book. It's powerful and moving and also enlightening. Are you ready for February? We keep to the tradition of Black History Month when we do February, so we always try to pick a title that expands your understanding of Black history. Well, this seemed the right year for the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass. What better way to celebrate the bicentennial of Frederick Douglass than by reading his first autobiography? From his birth into slavery to his escape from it, this narrative conveys the power and eloquence of one of America's preeminent orators and abolitionists. Available also in audiobook. Isn't this awesome? I thought we needed to do it this year. Seemed important. March. Ready? When You Reach Me by Rebecca Stead. This Newbery Medal winner, inspired by A Wrinkle in Time, is a time travel story that is also a hybrid mystery friendship story historical fiction. An intrigue with a clever plot at its center, this one will please a range of readers. This book is fabulous as well, and it was Newbery Medal, so we've had some book award finalists, some classics. We love to pick winners because then we know your children will love them. This next book, honestly, I have not read, and I am dying to read it. Nancy Graham is the one who curated this whole list, by the way, and we participated in helping her cultivate it, but she did all the research, and she loved this book. Ready? April is... It's heavy. It's hardback. The Inquisitor's Tale. And the subtitle says, or The Three Magical Children and Their Holy Dog. Also a Newbery Medal winner. A medieval adventure involving miracles, bold children, and a spirit dog, told by various travelers gathered at an inn, each of whom knows part of the story, told in the manner of the Canterbury Tales, and illuminated by illustrator Hatim Ali. This is an enchanted, well-researched, and action-packed tale of knights, bandits, a flatulent dragon, and brave youngsters on the run. Does this not look like an amazing book? I'm so flippin' excited about it. And last, but definitely not least, a classic for the ages, also put in the month of May because we know it finishes the year on such a positive note. Are you ready? Number 10. Ready? Here we go. Anne of Green Gables, of course. Anne of Green Gables is going to round out the year. So we are so excited. Let me read what her story is in case you're the one person on the planet who has never read the book. One of the great characters of literature for young readers, Anne Shirley is the independent, spirited child mistakenly sent from an orphanage to siblings Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert, who wanted a boy. How Anne goes about winning them over, making friends, and conducting herself through various exploits propels this worldwide favorite set on Canada's Prince Edward Island. So excited about this list. So before we go on to the arrow, I'm going to go right back through them real fast for those of you who were late. I won't read the descriptions. I'm just going to hold them up one at a time, okay? Thank you for being here today. This is so flippin' fun. I can hardly stand it. Okay, Station 11 for, let me remember the months. August 2017 is Station 11 by a homeschooler. She's a phenomenal author. September, Walking by Henry David Thoreau. 28-page essay on the virtues of walking. October, The Thing About Jellyfish, and this is by Ali Benjamin. November, Georges by Alexander Dumas. December, The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin. January, The Call of the Wild and White Fang by Jack London. February, The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. March, When You Reach Me by Rebecca Stead. April, The Inquisitor's Tale, I forgot to say his name before, Adam Gidwitz. And finally, Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. So there you have it. Now you know everything you need to know about the boomerang. And now we are going to do the arrows, which I know are so highly anticipated. These are for your 3rd to 6th graders, okay? And here's what you need to know this year about our arrow program. Normally, I write the arrows, or one of the Brave Writer team members. Nancy wrote some of them last year. I had written pretty much all of them up until that point, and we have slowly trained people to help us write the arrows, write the boomerangs. But this year, okay, hold on to your hats. Are you ready? This is a massive announcement. The author of the arrows are going to be Melissa Wiley. Melissa Wiley is the creator and writer of the arrows this year. We are like over the top excited to have a professional children's novelist analyze literature for us and create the arrows. I mean, is that going to be unbelievably amazing? So you have that to look forward to. And those of you who have The Secret Garden from this year, that's an example of her work. We've already been sneaking her in, but now she's going to do the whole year of the upcoming arrows. And here's the other big, amazing announcement that you don't know about. For both the boomerang and the arrow, Mary Wilson, our very own Not Before 7, is going to include a sheet of party book club notes for every arrow selection and every boomerang selection. So you will have a whole list of foods, activities, and resources to help you have a book club experience if you want to. You can invite your kids' friends, they can come over, and she will do the hard work for you, and those will be included. And guess what? We're not raising the price. We are just enhancing what you get out of the arrow and the boomerang this year because we love you, and we're so excited to have all these new ways to make your life easier and more fun. Okay, so Mary Wilson for Party Club, Party School Book Club, and Melissa Wiley writing the arrows. I mean, come on, doesn't get better than that. Okay then, let me make sure I have my sheets in order so that I don't get flustered while we're doing this. Okay, oh, here we go. You ready? We are so excited this year. I'm telling you, it's just a great year. Let me have one more sip. There's Mary right now. We love Mary, and we love Melissa. They're amazing. Okay, ready? Everybody ready? All right, I had already shared with you one book from the arrow, and that was August. Ready? Woo! Lemony Snicket, The Bad Beginning. If you are interested in stories with happy endings, you would be better off reading some other book. Despite this warning, Lemony Snicket's 13 volumes of woeful tales about the Baudelaire orphans, Violet, Klaus, and Sunny, have maintained an enthusiastic audience since their first publication. Intrigue aplenty, dastardly deeds galore, yes, but at its heart, this is the story of 3 siblings' resilience and love, told by a writer with a keen wit. It was adapted to a feature film in 2004 and began airing as a Netflix series in 2017, slated to cover all 13 books. So we just couldn't miss the opportunity to get your kids reading who are hooked on that series. So here's the first one, August. September, one of my favorite children's books, hard to see the title, Esperanza Rising by Pam Munoz Ryan, who is a brilliant writer. Forced to Flee. I'm still here, sorry about that. Forced to Flee California during the Great Depression, 13-year-old Esperanza and her mother leave behind their comfortable ranch in Mexico to settle in a camp for farm workers. Tough new circumstances demand that Esperanza find a way to rise and find her own strength. This title is available as an audiobook read by Trini Alvarado. And this book is so beautiful. It's such a great story. October. This was recommended to me so many times, I could not pass it up. So are you ready? Some of you have already guessed what the book is. I listened to this while I was running and thought, best book on parenting in fiction I've ever read. Ready? The Girl Who Drank the Moon. I think this is going to make many of you very, very happy. She was the Newbery Medal winner. This book is literally magic. And I am telling you, during those first several chapters, I was just wanting to quote every 3 sentences. I was so moved. It helped me run so many long runs because I didn't want to stop listening. This is an amazing, amazing book. So let me read you. Enmagicked, one of the key words of this book, enmagicked by a witch who feeds her moonlight while she's an abandoned baby. Luna has a power that is mounting as her 13th birthday approaches. An intense, layered story of 2 heroines written by an author with a refreshing lyrical voice. And literally, this story is a modern fairy tale. It's got, really intense themes and some violence even. So definitely preview it. But I'm telling you, it is magically written. So many passages you'll want to put in your own copy workbooks as adults, let alone your kids. So that is October. November, for all of your kids who are in love with early American history and Hamilton and everything else, Johnny Tremaine. Look at that handsome young man. By Esther Forbes, also another Newbery winner. A 14-year-old apprentice silversmith who injures his hand and forced to take work as a horseboy and messenger becomes involved in the events of the American Revolution, and he stars in this classic tale that won him the Newbery Medal in 1944. Real-life figures as Paul Revere, Sam and John Adams, John Hancock, and more, and episodes including the Boston Tea Party and Paul Revere's Ride round out a historical novel that has remained popular since it was first published. This is a fabulous book, has one of the best opening paragraphs in all of children's literature, in my opinion. Oops, sorry. All right. December. Another moon making an appearance in this list. Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. This is a fantasy. It is written by Grace Lynn, a beautiful writer. Minley, a name that means quick thinking, lives in a hut with her parents at the foot of Fruitless Mountain. Wanting to improve her family's fortune, Minley sets off on a quest full of magical creatures to seek help from the wise old man on the moon. Fantasy, Chinese folklore, and family love combine in this tale of going and returning that appeals to young and older children. Fabulous read aloud. January, we're up to January 2018. And this book I have not read yet, but it is getting rave reviews, and Melissa Wiley's family loved it, and I can't wait to read it. It's the Finn Family Moomin Troll. How many of you read this? Anybody? Okay, Moomin Valley is a fanciful world created by the Finnish novelist and illustrator Tove Jansson in the years following World War II. Jansson created many books and comics devoted to Moomin Troll and his parents, who look a bit like hippos, and their friends Snufkin, Little Mai, the Snork Maiden, the Hemulin, and many more. Generations of children have grown up with this eccentric tribe. We bet you can't just read one. So I would like to introduce you to the Moomin Troll family. Again, for February, we love to promote Black History Month here at Brave Writer, and we have a favorite author in that category, and I am so excited about this book because it features Canada. not the United States, and I think it's about time that we acknowledge that they have so much in common with our North American history. This book is by Christopher Paul Curtis, and it is called Elijah of Buxton. Let me read it to you. At a Canadian settlement of runaway slaves, 11-year-old Elijah, the first child in town to be born free, is thought of as frightened and fragile. When a former slave steals money from Elijah's friend, Elijah sets off on a perilous journey. Excited about this. Christopher Paul Curtis writes so many great books. We've done Bud Not Buddy. We've done other books of his. Oh, you just finished Elijah, Heather. That's fabulous. Wonderful. Okay, we're all the way up through March. Here comes March. And this is another reboot for the Arrow, but I absolutely love it. March 2018, from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. This whole book, written by E.L. Konigsberg, takes place in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Runaway Claudia Kincaid chooses the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City as her cushy hideout, inviting her brother Jamie along. A mystery involving an angel statue leads Claudia to the eccentric Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. For anyone who has ever wanted to live in a museum. I mean, who doesn't want to? Such a great book. April is another new to us title, and I think you'll love it. It sort of keeps with my theme of promoting global citizens among our children. This book is called The Red Pencil, and it is by Andrea Davis Pinkney. Amira must leave her Sudanese village after it is invaded by Janjaweed attackers and head to a refugee camp. Hope arrives in the form of a red pencil. Pinkney's story is told in the first person by Amira and in free verse. Here's some examples. This is a genre crosser for us, giving you poetry. It also takes place far away, and I just quite imagine kids doing all their copy work and dictation that month in a red pencil, don't you? Don't you think that would be a great way to do it? This is going to be an amazing book to share with your children. And now we are winding up on the very last of the reveals. We have made our way all the way through all the boomerangs, all the arrows except May of 2018. I just finished listening to this book on Audible, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it. It talks about a whole life I knew nothing about in the United States. You ready? Also by one of our favorite children's authors, Cynthia Kadohata. Ready? The Thing About Luck. Has anyone read this book yet? I loved it so much. Summer and her younger brother Jazz, their parents are called away to care for relatives in Japan. So Summer and her brother go with her grandparents to harvest wheat. This story of a girl growing up is full of family warmth and humor. It's also a detailed look at how grain is harvested and about Japanese culture. And I think you will just be mesmerized by it. There is also a little bit of junior high sort of transition for a young girl. And so we put it at the end of the year so your kids could grow up over the year and be ready for this wonderful tale of a little girl sort of coming of age into her junior high years and processing different cultures, different experiences. It is such a lovely book. So let's run back through now the Arrow books like we did the Boomerang books, and we'll do it quickly for anyone who came late to the broadcast. I have to reorganize. Hold on. So are you excited? I'm so excited about our books. I can't even tell you. All right, here are the Arrow books one more time. August is Lemony Snicket. September, Esperanza Rising. October, a big favorite, The Girl Who Drank the Moon. November, Johnny Tremaine. December, Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. January, Thin Family Moomin Troll. February, Elijah of Buxton. March, From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. April, The Red Pencil. And finally, May, The Thing About Luck. Now, here's what you need to know. We have a huge contest that we are scheduling to start on June 1st, right when you can start buying the year-long subscription to the Arrow and the Boomerang. And that contest doesn't require a purchase. You will just sign up on a landing page and go there. And once we enter your email address into ours, if you share this contest on your social media, you'll get extra entries. And we'll tell you how many there are and what the details are next week before June 1st. But here's what you need to know what you're winning. You could win this whole stack of books if you are drawn. And we're picking 5 of you. So it could be that whole stack, or if you prefer the Boomerangs, you can pick the Boomerang stack. You get to decide. But we're doing 5 winners because we didn't think 1 is enough. We want to make sure many of you are happy. So we believe this is a great way to promote reading aloud culture, and the mechanics and craft of writing all rolled into one. And we are so excited about this year's book titles. We cannot wait to have Melissa Wiley write the Arrow for us. We cannot wait for Mary Wilson to pair all of her brilliant book club ideas with these amazing titles. And we are so looking forward to sharing them with you. So here's what you need to know. These book lists are available right now on our blog, and I am about to post Instagram photos of both with all the titles. But if you go to our store, it still shows last year's lists. And that's because there is still 1 more week in May for people to be able to buy last year's lists. So we are doing the big reveal today, give you a whole week to be totally excited, share out the wazoo. Please share this broadcast and the titles with your friends. And then on June 1st, they're going to go on a massive sale, like very cheap. You'll be shocked. And if you buy them in June, you get them for this reduced price. And you can also, whether you buy the Arrow and Boomerang or not, you can also enter our contest to win all 10 books. 5 lucky families will get all 10 books, whether you live in the United States or abroad. Because if you live abroad, we just give you an Amazon gift card and you can buy them yourself. Okay? So everyone can play, everyone gets to read. And this year, during the Arrow and Boomerang, for those who subscribe through Brave Writer, we will have a little Facebook group managed by Mary Wilson where you can share resources, photographs, and talk about the books amongst yourselves as parents. And that is a little added bonus as well. So we're really trying to enhance and enrich the community aspect of the Arrow and Boomerang this year. And I hope that you find that to be wonderful. For those of you wondering if we're having an Arrow and Boomerang book club, which are our online classes that my daughter Johanna leads, yes, we certainly are. And we will let you know when you can sign up for those. They are incredibly popular, so they may sell out quickly. So if you know you want your kids to be in those book clubs this coming year, you will want to sign up early. We will announce the details of how to sign up, what the tuition is, etc. when we get closer to that date. We're doing some work on the Brave Writer website right now, so I don't have the fixed date for you. Any questions before I head out and leave you to yourselves? Oh, that's so awesome. You know, even if you have younger children, some of these books are wonderful to read to a larger group. If you love this book list, you could always buy it this year and save it for the following year, but I know what will happen. Next year, you'll love the list too. We are really good at picking books, I think. But this year is fabulous. And like I said, the Arrow looks like this. You download it and print it yourself. Let's do this so you can see it without the glare. And then inside, we pick 4 passages, 1 per week, and we give you detailed notes so that you have the pleasure of sharing with your kids all about the various aspects of language that would be interesting for a child to know or a teenager to know. And then we also usually feature 1 literary element per month so that you have the fun of doing that and a little writing activity to go with it. So there is so much fun. Yes, the quiver of arrows and the pouch of boomerangs never change. They are the same 10 books forever. The only time we change arrows and boomerangs is for the arrow itself and the Boomerang. That is a decision we made because that's about the volume of publishing we can do a year. 20 is a lot. We put a lot of heart and a lot of work into these. If you already own the Boomerang for Call of the Wild, or so if you already own one where there's a reboot, if you buy the year long, you will automatically get the new version. We will eventually update the old version in our single issues. And when we do that, if you bought it through us originally, it automatically sends a redone version. If you didn't buy it through us, you have to repurchase it. But if you bought it through us, then that's what you're going to get. Or you'll just get it as part of the package if you buy all 10. So that's how that works. Hi, Summer. Very nice to see that you got up at 5:30 in the morning to watch this. That's incredible. If we just ordered, can we switch to next year's books? Unfortunately, we cannot do that because the way that we set up our system is it automatically subscribes people to the place that the downloading happens. So contact me if there's some kind of need that you have that is unique. But we do not typically switch programs. If you've already purchased a program, then you have access to that program already, and we can't switch you. Yeah, thank you though. Oh, yes, absolutely. Summer getting up at 5:30 in the morning. That's amazing. Well, thank you for hopping on. I'm going to get off now so I can update Instagram because I know they're waiting. And thank you for joining me live. I do this every week at 11:30, reading from my book, A Gracious Space, and I will be back next Monday for sure. So I will see you all then. And we will talk more about the arrow and the boomerang and how to use them in the upcoming months. Thank you again. Mwah. Live honestly, write bravely, and read voluminously to your kids. We'll see you soon. Thanks for making this a really fun reveal day for me. Bye, everyone.